Manchester United have finally signed someone in January. They finally signed an attacker, people. Wout Weghorst is on his way to Manchester United. He's on a flight to Manchester. We've got our here we go from FABRIZIRO Romano. His goal is to play in the Manchester derby, to be registered in time for the Manchester derby. And this is Ten Hag, 6'6", pressing monster with actually the best defensive stats in Europe for an actual striker in terms of pressing, even things like tackles and interceptions. He's actually one of the best defensive strikers in Europe. So hello and welcome back to Alice Talks Football. Welcome back to another video on the channel. Wout Weghorst to United is done. What's been said on that? Will United be signing anyone next now Weghorst is done? What's my opinion on Wout Weghorst? Will we bring anyone else in? And more. Now, first of all, I don't think Wout Weghorst is a bad signing. But we know that if Manchester United had any money, or if Manchester United did not fuck up Gakpo or João Felix, we would not be going anywhere near Wout Weghorst. Now, there's a few people saying, oh, he's a Burnley flop and Burnley loaned him out. No, Burnley loaned him out because Burnley were in the Championship, okay? Burnley didn't loan them out because they wanted to, because they went to the Championships and he didn't want to play in the Championship, okay? He's not a Burnley reject, before I start saying that as well. You know, he went to Besiktas, he got 9 goals in 18 games, I think he got 4 or 5 assists as well. So, okay stats, to be fair. Played at the World Cup, we know he famously got those 2 goals versus Argentina. And my favourite thing about Weghorst was the shithousery versus Argentina. He's got that attitude, he's got that personality that Ten Hag will like, a bit of a shithousery kind of attitude. You know what, I will say this about Weghorst, I will get into his stats, we'll get into other news around other signings and all of that, but he's someone that can cause problems in the sense of he does give you that kind of Fellaini-esque vibe, but this time a striker, where they bring something different, it gives the defender something to think about. Like, let's say we're 1-0 versus Newcastle and Martial's not really working and we can't break Newcastle down. You know, and then you bring on Wout Weghorst and you go, fuck it, let's long ball it. You know, you've got counter-attacking attackers, which we're very suited to with Rashford, and then you've got the boosh cross it into Wout. Because I tell you what, Luke Shaw has a cross and a half on him. No one's ever in the box. Bruno Fernandes can put a good cross in. We also know Eriksen can put a good cross in, but there's no one in the bloody box. And sometimes it frustrates me, you know, and I think with Wout Weghorst there's going to be a threat. There's going to be that aerial threat from set pieces. He's going to do that defence from set pieces, but it's going to offer us a different option. If plan A isn't working, he at least comes in and gives us a plan B. He's in the 90th percentile for pressures. I think he had the most presses a lot across Europe's top 5 leagues as an attacker. He's a workhorse. He will work hard. He's 6'6". He's going to cause us problems. Now, what was specifically said on Wout Weghorst? It was said, Wout Weghorst to Manchester United. Here we go. All conditions revealed on Tuesday are confirmed. Manchester United will pay €3 million to Besiktas to then sign Wout Weghorst on loan from Burnley. Manchester United understand Weghorst will fly to Manchester today to undergo medical tests and then sign the contract. So Romano has confirmed Wout Weghorst is on his way to Manchester United. And the only thing I don't like about this Wout Weghorst deal is we've had to pay a €3 million fee and his wages, which I think takes the deal to like €6-7 million for basically to have a player that was our third choice that isn't superly good from Besiktas for €7 million for 6 months. We're paying €6-7 million to sign a player for 6 months. Now, obviously, João Felix was an absolutely extortionate fee, and obviously, you know, Gakpo we'd have to pay up front fee. But when you save 20 million on Ronaldo's wages, and you know, you could have got maybe Gakpo with that if you really put the effort in, or maybe you could have got Felix, even though the loan fee was absolutely extortionate, I will give you that. And then you're getting Wout Weghorst, where you're overpaying and it's the third choice. It's a bit disappointing. Like, I generally do like Weghorst. He got 20 goals in the Bundesliga 2 seasons ago. He offers something different. And the most important thing for me is Erik Ten Hag wants Wout Weghorst. Erik Ten Hag is interested in signing Wout Weghorst. You know, it's not Ten Hag's first choice, but Ten Hag gave the approval. Ten Hag's seen the guy for the Netherlands. Ten Hag is aware of Weghorst, and Erik Ten Hag wants Weghorst done. But I think we're actually paying Besiktas €3 million so we can have this guy on loan for 6 months. Is he worth it? No. Is it United shambles? Absolutely. And look, I think Wout Weghorst will come to United, and I think he will give it his all. I mean, there were even reports that Wout Weghorst would be willing to pay, like, the loan fee to come to United. Like, that's how desperate he was. Like, I genuinely think Wout Weghorst will come to United, he'll give it his all, he will offer something different. I think he will be more of a sub, I think he will get goals. He's got goals everywhere he went. I know he flopped at Burnley, but Burnley got relegated that season. Everyone flopped at Burnley. He got 2 goals and 3 assists in, I think, like 17, 18 Premier League games at Burnley last season. But Burnley got relegated. Burnley didn't create anything. And I've always said this about Weghorst. Look at Huntelaar, look at Sebastian Haller, yeah? Look at what they were doing, you know, before. Look at Sebastian Haller at West Ham, shocking. Look at him at Ajax, brilliant. Ten Hag got the best out of the Premier League, flop. He will utilise Weghorst like he utilised Sebastian Haller and Huntelaar. And everyone thinks that Weghorst isn't a Ten Hag type of player. You've not watched Ten Hag. You've not watched what Ten Hag did at Ajax. He likes these kind of physical strikers. He likes this. This gives him a second option to play a different way that actually worked very well. At Ajax, Sebastian Haller was absolutely firing when he was once, you know, a massive West Ham flop. And if you've got to look at Ten Hag signings, they've all worked out. Like Anthony, obviously the fee's a bit much, but this is about his potential and what he could be. And we've seen his right foot's worth. Anthony's right foot's worth about 60 million and his left foot, Anthony's left foot's worth about 60 million and his right foot's worth about 5p. But realistically, Anthony could be worth that price one day. But we know Anthony scored a few goals. He's not been bad. Christian Eriksen's been fantastic. Casemiro's been fantastic. Lisandro Martinez has been fantastic. A lot of people were sceptical on Lisandro Martinez at first. And he's been absolutely excellent. So I do trust Erik Ten Hag in the sense of he's picked out Wout Weghorst. I think that Wout Weghorst will be fine at United. I think he will work. Ten Hag wants him. We know he's not the first choice. And we know we wouldn't be in this situation if the board wasn't such a mess, if the board wasn't so incompetent. We'd be getting a proper attacker in because it sucks that our first 2 targets are at rivals. But it's not a bad option, but we need more. In my opinion, we should be signing Wout Weghorst and someone else. And I think on the thumbnail I've said Wout Weghorst done. Who's next? Because will United be signing anyone else in January? And by the way we're acting so broke, we will not sign anyone else in January unless there's outs. Now, we haven't let Maguire go, and we haven't let Lindelof go, and we haven't let McTominay go despite offers. I don't think there'll be any outs. If we get a bit of money for Wan-Bissaka last minute, I think we could bring in a right back. I think there's a chance of a right back if we get a bit of last minute cash for Wan-Bissaka. But I think that's the January transfer window done, and January transfer window done for Manchester United. In all honesty, I can't see us signing anyone else. I think Wan-Bissaka's the only one to look at, and a right back's the only one to look at. But, you know, the fact that we, you know, was faffing over Weghorst and making that deal so complicated, and effectively have given Ten Hag a transfer ban this January, and they're saying it's because, well, if we're going to change ownership, we don't want to risk spending money. You know, we've already given Ten Hag a lot in summer, excuse. They're basically like, nah, I don't know if we're going to back Ten Hag or not. And he's been delivered about Weghorst, who, by the way, might be playing in the derby. The attention right now at Manchester United is to get down and focus and see if they can get Wout Weghorst registered in time for the derby to come on as a sub. So I feel like he'll be, you know, how Mourinho used Fellaini. That guy that comes on, causes a bit of problems, will give it his all. I think he's got the Ten Hag personality, even though he's not one crazy shit. I think he'll come in the dressing room and have a great impact, you know. And before he signed for Burnley, he got 20 goals in 25 Bundesliga games. The season before that, I think he got 16 goals in 25 Bundesliga games. Just want to say that he can score goals. I think he'll come in the dressing room, have an impact. But look, he's not my ideal signing. I think we should have gone for Thuram. I've always said this, as soon as one option went and the other option went and Felix and Gakpo, I think we should have gone for Thuram, because Thuram would only require us spending about double the amount of money. We'd probably have to spend about 12 million euros. But we knew that Man United were going to go for the cheapest option. Ten Hag will probably put, you know, Gakpo first, Felix second, probably put someone like Thuram third and all of that. And then they probably bet, well, who's the cheapest option on your top 10 list? And that was probably Weghorst. So I honestly believe that, like, we won't be doing anything else unless something happens with Wan-Bissaka. But anyway, let me know your thoughts on Weghorst down below. I'm trying to be positive, as you can see. Like, you know, at the end of the day, this is a classic United panic 6-month loan. But I think it's better than Nagalo. I think it's a better deal than Nagalo. I think this is better than nothing. It's better than, you know, Elanga coming on and being a striker. You've got to look at it in that way. It's better than nothing. This is a guy that Ten Hag will happily take. So this is a guy that I'll happily take. But, you know, we should be doing better. The standards should be higher at United. But I'm kind of going off the mindset this is going to be the last ever transfer window with Glazer-Nomics. And that's what I'm kind of looking forward to. I will be live tonight to talk about new ownership and more. Smash a like, smash a subscribe. Thank you for watching. See you next time. Bye.